Okay, so yesterday I went to a walk to remember. So it's like at a cemetery, not that far from here, for babies who, pregnancy, and it's October, so it's pregnancy and infant loss awareness month. So, anybody who has lost a baby or lost an infant, anything like that. So if you're new here, I had a miscarriage in January of 2018. I was getting ready to be 15 weeks pregnant, and they said the baby had the heart had stopped beating about 2 to 3 weeks before that, which would be right. It's probably more like just 2 weeks, because I actually went to the doctor at 12 weeks and seen the heart beating. So I had seen the heart beating at 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and then I miscarried. So it was literally like January 1st. I went in for a D&C, emergency D&C. I was bleeding profusely. So yesterday, Nick was supposed to go with me, but he had like a little stomach bug thing going on, so he wasn't able to go. And then my mom woke up not feeling very well, so she didn't go. And I didn't want to miss it, because last year it was like, I was pregnant with Luca, but it was just like a really healing thing, I feel like, for me. I had already felt flutters by the time that I had miscarried, so like I would like, I'm one of the, I connect right when I get pregnant. It's, I believe a baby, it's a baby from the beginning. That's what I believe. So the second I find out I'm pregnant, that's my baby inside of me. So yeah, it's just hard. I don't know, I'm trying not to get emotional while I'm talking. But it's just hard, or it was hard for me. I didn't know how to really, I just feel like it's a good coping thing for me to, once a year, be able to go to like the walk to remember, and it be just a little bit of time where, I talk about Jamie. That's what we named. We don't know if Jamie was a boy or a girl, but that's the name that we gave. So we talk about Jamie and like say stuff. Whenever my kids know, Lily asked me how many kids. She said, "You guys need 4 kids." This was a couple months ago, and I said, "Well, actually, we do have 4 kids." So we explained it to her, so she knows that she has a little brother or sister that just lives in heaven. So I just feel like that's a good thing to go every year. And I don't know if I'll go every year for like I don't know. I just felt compelled to go again this year, so I went, and I wish somebody would have been able to go with me. Leah was a little crazy. Lily was really good though. So I don't have much footage from it, because Leah was being like, she wanted me to hold her, and Luca was crying too. So I'm gonna put in the footage.
You fall all the time.
Now we're doing the actual walk.
Right, sorry.
I'm right there with you, more than you know.
You still.
I want to hold one. I want to hold one.
And I just wanted to say, you know, sometimes people try to play down how hard it is when you have, I mean, I had a second trimester miscarriage, technically. But, you know, people try to, like, not validate, like early miscarriages. And, you know, people bond right away. A lot of people do. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people, you know, they find out they're pregnant and that's their baby, you know, and it's very, you know, you start thinking of what's this baby gonna look like, and how is this baby gonna act, and, you know, like, what is this baby gonna look like when they're 5, 6, you know, like, what, are they gonna look like me? Are they gonna look like my significant other? So, you know, I feel like a lot of people don't understand how, like, traumatizing and how difficult it can be. And even after you have, I feel like when you have, like, your rainbow baby, then it becomes, people think, oh, well, you have a baby now, so it's fine. And some people just don't understand, like, actually my mother-in-law, and she didn't mean it from a bad place, it's just, when, you know, after I had my, checkup with the doctor, after I had, after I had D&C and stuff, it was, we called my in-laws, and he was telling her about, like, what the doctor had said about, really, sorry, but he had told her, like, about when they said we could try again, like, and she was just like, and Junior, sorry, and he was just saying, like, talking about how difficult it was and stuff and whatever, so she was just like, well, it's okay, you know, like, you can always try again. Okay, yes, you can have another baby, but that baby does not erase the baby that you lost. And yes, it's a very weird thing because, you know, if you hadn't have lost that baby, you wouldn't have your rainbow baby. But it's just a very difficult thing. It's like me and Nick talked about it, and it's like the feeling that you have after you have your rainbow baby is you wish that you could have both of the babies, you know, like you wish that you could have had your rainbow baby and then, or had your angel baby and then had your rainbow baby later, like you wish that you could have both of them. So having the rainbow baby doesn't really, I mean, it helps and it helps you feel better, but it's also like it just doesn't erase the fact that you lost a baby as well. I don't know, I feel like this is really a taboo subject and it shouldn't be, you know, 1 in 4 women experience this, so, you know, I feel like more people would be able to cope with it better if it was talked about more. And, you know, I've actually, like, had people comment, like, on my Facebook and stuff before, like, pretty much saying, like, why do you talk about this, you know what I mean, and it just brings up bad feelings and this and that, and, you know, everybody copes different, so they might, and if there's people that are on, like, my social media, and, like, they don't want to see me talking about that because it just hurts them, then that is perfectly fine, like, they can unfriend me, unfollow me, you know what I mean, that's, everybody has to do, everybody has to do why did you run away? What they have to do, for their own sanity and mental health, so, I totally get that, but I also have had people say that they like my posting about it excuse me, and talking about it has helped them. So you know, like I started this YouTube today and my brother called me because he was here to drop her off. But yeah, I've just had people say that I've helped them, and like, you know, I started this page, this YouTube page, and like my Instagram page, to try to help me cope with just everything, like not just that, but like being chronically ill and being a mom, and you know, it's just hard to post. It's hard because I use my phone, I don't have a camera, so that's what makes it difficult to do. But I would like to post more, but I also just get discouraged because it's just like I feel like I see a lot of channels, I have like a lot of and it's like I don't understand why people, I understand having entertainment in your life too, but it's like, I don't know, I watch a lot of like, and maybe just because I'm chronically ill, but I watch a lot of like very like medical, like people having like medical journeys on YouTube, and like I watch like a autism channel, and like I watch Fathering Autism, and I watch The Fry Life, Our Landing Crew. So like I watch a lot of like YouTube video, like people like that, vloggers. But I just think that yeah, like just like loss in general isn't talked about, and I feel like some people just don't think that it's that big of a deal sometimes, but it is. Like I don't even think people really understand like the severity of like what I went through. You know, it was like a traumatizing thing for me and Nick and my mom, because my mom was there as well. You know, I just feel like I could feel compelled to talk about this because I feel like people don't understand what you go through. Actually, when you miscarry, they think, oh, you bleed a little and like whatever. And I don't know about miscarriages in like the first trimester and stuff. I don't know. But I will say, like I said, I was almost 15 weeks, and the baby, you know, it's really hard to talk about. The heartbeat had stopped at like 13 weeks. Okay. So, you know, yeah.
He's so stressy.
He is. So I woke up on December 31st
Look,
with bleeding.
look.
I was like, I would have thought I started my period had I not been pregnant. So I called the doctor, and they just said, they asked if we had intercourse, so in the last 24 hours or 48 hours, and we said yes, and they said, oh, sometimes it could just be that, but if you want to get checked out, go ahead and come in to labor and delivery, like triage, whatever. So I went there, and they could not find with the fetal Doppler a heartbeat with the fetal Doppler. So at that point, they weren't really worried. They were like, oh, it's fine, you know, sometimes you can't find it. But I'm thinking, like, I'm almost 15 weeks, so like, you've always been able to find it. They did not 1, not 2, but 3 ultrasounds to confirm that there was no heartbeat. You know, I just remember me and Nick both just crying. They left us in the room for as long as we needed to. At that point, I was not bleeding anymore. And the doctor came in there and said, we just, you know, we could go ahead and do a D&C now, or, you know, you can wait it out naturally, or, you know, you can come into the office, like Wednesday, and then we'll schedule it for you. And I said, you know, I'd rather just do that. Give me a few days to go home and cope with it, and come back and we'll schedule it. And I know a lot of people just wait for it to happen naturally. I don't know, I went back and forth about it. I didn't really want to have a D&C because I just felt not right. But I went home, and I 100% that think that God played a role in this, because my mom and my dad knew how much I was struggling with having a D&C. So she told me later on that they had prayed that since I had to go through it, that I would just miscarry naturally, so I didn't have to.
Hey, I have a
Yeah.
question.
What?
Can I watch Paw Patrol?
Oh yes.
I love Paw Patrol.
But
Paw Patrol is my favorite.
okay. I'm not gonna turn it real loud though.
Do you get to really loud?
Yeah, but they.
Yeah,
She told me that
Paw
they had.
Patrol.
Yeah.
Paw
Okay.
Patrol is
Yeah.
my
Okay.
favorite.
Okay. Just.
I was Paw Patrol at Mama's house.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna wait for it to load. But yeah, I guess I'd prayed that since I was gonna have to go through it anyways, that I would just miscarry naturally, since I was having such like a dilemma with what to do. So we went home that night. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, or around that time, yeah. And I felt like a pop and a gush. So, and then that whole time I had been cramping, and like it had been cramping all night, just, which now, you know, I was pretty much in labor. So, yeah, that gushed out, and it became really intense. It was just a lot of blood, like a lot of blood. My mom had come there before she went to work. I was in the bathroom. I was throwing up, like I said, just like blood gushing out of me. I felt a little bit of pressure, and I put toilet paper there, and I held my baby in my hand, and you know, it's a baby, so it's a baby. It looks, so at that point we were waiting to see what to do, but it was bad. I was bleeding out basically, so Nick called and they said, come in now. So he rushed me to the hospital, and it just kept coming out. And I get there, what had happened is, I still had like placenta and stuff or whatever inside of me. I still had stuff that just wasn't coming out. So they had to do an emergency D&C, because like I said, I was asleep. Like I got there and the doctor came in and he said, we gotta go now. So, it was pretty bad. So it was a very, traumatizing thing for me. But looking back, I am really glad that I miscarried naturally. Like I think mentally I cope with that better. So, to me, it's like when people are invalidating, it's like now thinking about that, if people go through that, they go through the cramping and the feeling pressure and that's, it's giving birth. It's not, oh, my body didn't want this pregnancy, it miscarried. It's, you feel the pain. So, I just think in this month of time, in general, but it's just I'm raising awareness because it's October. I just think, be more understanding, be kind. Even if you might personally not believe that it's a baby or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I personally believe a baby is a baby at all points. But, if you don't, just be kind, because, you just don't know, you know what I mean? And, and it doesn't matter how many kids people have, if they have kids or not. I feel like that's a very common thing too. It's like, well, you have 3, like me. We have 2 other kids, so you should be grateful. I was grateful. I am grateful for all of my kids, and I'm grateful that, you know, we didn't struggle with fertility issues, but that does not make the loss any different. You know what I mean? It's people just be kind. You never know what people's going through, and it's like that thing where, you know, don't ask people when are you getting pregnant or whatever, because you don't know what they're struggling with. So, you know, my heart just goes out to everybody who has dealt with loss, because I know what it's like, and I'm just praying for peace and comfort and rainbow babies for all the people dealing with this. Yeah, thanks for watching this video, listening to my vent, rant, story, whatever you want to call it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.